Welcome, travelers, to PA's Nightmare Wednesdays. As always, welcome to my realm of nightmares. Allow me to be your personal assistant into my realm. Come in, take a seat, get comfortable, for when you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.
It started with little things. I would wake up at night and catch the scent of her perfume, or right as I fell asleep, I'd hear a female voice, and when I was startled awake, no one was there. But you see, I have lived alone since the sudden death of my wife. It had only been a few short months, so I thought it was grief playing with my head. But day by day, things started to get harder to explain. Objects in my house would be moved, or not where I placed them the night before. But I just considered it memory slips of a grieving mind. This all came to a head just moments ago. I awoke strapped to my bed, and I could hear a woman. She was talking to herself, muttering about me. She clearly hadn't noticed I was awake yet. She sounded as sweet as honey, but under it was a tone of something I could not grasp. Was it hatred? Obsession? Anger? I was not sure, but it caused me to fear for my life more than the bindings that held me in place. "Who the hell are you?" I yelled at her. I was honestly not expecting an answer at all, but what I got I did not expect.
You don't know who I am?
Her voice sounded hurt. As she spoke, she got on top of me. I got a good look at her face, and my mind was flooded with memories. I saw her in my college classes. I saw her watching me every day at the train station. Hell, she even worked with me. However, until now, I never connected any of this. This crazy bitch had somehow inserted herself into every aspect of my life. And now, here she is in my home? In the spot where my wife slept? My wife died in a mysterious way. This woman could not have possibly been the cause of my wife's death, could she? She spoke once more.
You don't know me, don't you? I've been watching you for a very long time now, and I felt it was time that we met. I saw how you looked at me, undressing me with your eyes. We could not be together because of your wife, and now that she's not a problem anymore, and you had your time to grieve, we can be together.
She was crying now, her tears hitting my bare chest. I yelled at her, the anger clear in my words. "My wife! What the hell did you do to my wife, you crazy bitch? Once I get out of here, I will make you pay for hurting her." She stopped crying, and I could see I angered her. She then suddenly slapped me in the face.
How dare you speak to me like that? After all I did for us? You think getting rid of her and making it look like an accident was easy? Also, I made sure she didn't suffer. You should be thanking me for saving you from that miserable existence. I could tell how unhappy you were. I saw the desire you had to be with me, so I did what I had to do for us.
What do you mean by desire? Until now, I didn't know you existed. Who you were. Now all I want is you out of my house. I shouted this at her. The look on her face darkened. From behind her back, she brought up a large kitchen knife. She slowly dragged the knife up and down the length of my chest until suddenly she applied pressure and left a deep cut on my chest. "Ah!" I screamed in pain.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to hurt you, but lying to me and telling me you've never noticed me will just not do. I need you to understand this.
I spoke again, and this time I decided to play into her delusion. Maybe if I did this, I could get out of this alive. You're right. I have noticed you. I've wanted us to be together for so long, but my wife would never allow it. Now that you have gotten rid of her, I stopped. It was you that got rid of her, right? I pried, giving her the best. It's okay that you killed my wife, you crazy bitch face.
Yes, my love. I got rid of her for us.
She smiled, as if admitting it brought her great joy. I continued, well, now that you got rid of her, we can be together like we always dreamed. I will make you the happiest girl in the world, but I can't do that from this bed, tied down like this. Would you untie me so we can consummate our future together? She made a thoughtful expression, as if she was trying to decide if I was being honest or playing a trick on her. In the end, her crazy won out. She actually thought I was being genuine, and she cut me free. However, she's not as dumb as she looks, because right after cutting me loose, she pulled a handgun out of her purse and pointed it at me.
I want to think you're being honest with me. However, I know I just abducted you and killed your wife, so you could be tricking me. So until I'm certain of your devotion to me, I cannot let you out of my sight.
She finished with a look that said, I'm smarter than you are, and I got what I wanted. Honey, I'm not tricking you. In fact, if you will give me just one moment, I will prove that to you. I said as I walked over to my dead wife's jewelry box. I found her engagement ring. Turning around with a wide smile on my face, I slowly approached her with my hands in the air, showing her the ring. Getting down on one knee, I opened my mouth to speak. My love, this is embarrassing, but I can't recall you ever giving me your name. May I have it? She said,
Amy, my name is Amy.
Well then, Amy, would you do me the honor of making me the happiest man in the world and becoming my wife? I said, with as much love as I could muster for the psycho that took what was mine. That's okay, she would do.
Yes, 1,000 times yes. I never thought that this would go so well. I mean, I know you loved me, but I thought you would put up a bit more resistance. I'm so happy you did not.
She shouted as I placed the ring on her finger. This provided the exact distraction I needed. I grabbed the knife and plunged it deep into her stomach. The shock on her face was amusing. I covered her mouth so she would not scream. We could not have any nosy neighbors calling the cops after all. Like I said, you freed me from my wife. She would not let me kill you. I looked at you with such desire because I wanted to kill you. So, thank you for freeing me from her control. Thank you for being so blindly obsessed with me that you came right to me. Thank you for uncaging me from that hell I was in for all those years. That bitch made me marry her because she found out my secret. And well, if I didn't, she would have turned me in. So now, I can continue with my work. Days later, I saw my picture on the news. The reporter said, If you have any information on this woman, please let the authorities know. The cops have reason to believe that after 10 years, the Ricketts Glen killer has come back. The TV played the background. The string of disappearances continues. The cops are baffled as to who this is or why they are doing this. Jacob threw his papers across the room. He could not figure out what the hell was going on in this fucked up city. He was part of the task force, which was tasked with finding the person responsible for this string of abductions. finishing his whiskey, then pouring him another double of the cheap rock gut whiskey. He could not afford much, but it got the job done. Giving up for this evening, he decided to go get a hot shower and try to sleep. However, he did not make it far. His world started spinning, then moments later, his world faded to black. His body hit the hardwood floor. A man stepped out of the shadows. God, I thought he never passed the fuck out. Well, got to get him in the van. The next thing Jacob knew, he was waking up in the center of a clearing, with sunlight blinding him. As he tried to shake off the drugged haze he was in, slowly, his vision became clear, and he noticed the 6 people with him. They were all the missing people. Each stood, regarding one another with fear and hatred. A voice shouted from the loudspeaker, "Mr. Donaldson, I see you're awake. That's good, just in time. Let me explain what is going on here. You will take part in a battle royale that is a fight to the death. Only one person will emerge victorious and be granted a very special prize." Standing up, he took note that lying on the ground were 2 machetes. Great. The least they could have done was give me a firearm. Oh well, this will have to make do. I need to survive this if I'm going to bring these sick fucks to justice. Picking up the 2 blades and readying himself, the sound of a gun going off released each of the men from their shackles. Jacob watched as the men fought and killed each other. Hanging back in a fight like this was the best idea. In a situation when you're outnumbered, best to let the trash take care of itself. He watched as the ones that did not fight got slaughtered like cattle. It came down to him and 2 other guys. He smiled and advanced on the first one. He went to swing at him, but he ducked it and slashed the first machete across the guy's stomach. He fell, trying to hold it in his intestines. The second man came running at him, but he stabbed him in the stomach. Then he pulled him in closer, smiling, and said, "I win," slicing him ear to ear and letting him fall to the ground. As he walked slowly over to the first man, he raised the machete and brought it down, severing his head from his shoulders. Covered in blood, he had never felt so alive in his life. He became a cop, so he will be able to get away with killing his victims. But this was so much more rewarding. "Very good," the voice from the loudspeaker spoke again. "I will need you to drop your weapons now, officer." Dropping his weapons and kicking it away from him, he shouted, "Now what?" A big gate he had not noticed opened up and a group of people came walking out. The oldest member of the group walked over and approached him. "I'm Mac Brody, and this is my family. Well, you see, we are not related. Each member here got to make the same choice you now get to make. Join us or join them." He pointed a finger at the clearing that was now littered with body parts. "Take a knee, officer, if you would." The tone of his voice made it clear that where it was a question, he did not have a choice. Taking a knee, the ground was soaked in blood, and he could feel it soak through his jeans. He reached out a hand to him and said, "Welcome, my son, to the family." Unsure what to do, he took his hand and kissed the ring, swearing fealty to the stranger that he now called father. "Now let's get the long pig loaded up." Tonight's stories were Join the Family and Wake Up, featuring Miss Creepy Tales. If you have not checked out her channel, please do so. She's a very good friend and a very talented narrator. Links will be in the description below. Also, I now have merch. If you would like to walk around representing my realm and gathering me new travelers, the links will be in the description below. Also, I would like to say thank you to my Patreons, 242 Reads, Rando Calrissian, Pam, Silverthreads, Setafin, the Midnight Bard, and Hair-Raising Narrative. If you would like to join these lovely travelers by the light of my fire, you become a Patreon as well. The support is always appreciated, but never expected.
But as always, travelers, once you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.